Namaste friends, welcome back to Biology Center for True Learning. In this video we begin new more unit, that is human physiology. From that unit we take the chapter breathing and exchange of gases for the discussion. So before step into the concepts of this chapter, so it is necessary to know the outline of the chapter. What are important concepts we are going to learn in these videos. Firstly, we learn the definition of respiration. What is respiration? Then, so what are respiratory organs present in different organisms? Then what are respiratory pigments? Then about human respiratory system, especially we talk about the structure of lungs. So afterwards, then about the mechanism of breathing, then exchange of gases, the pulmonary gas exchange, then systemic gases exchange. So afterwards, the transportation of gases, the transportation of oxygen, transportation of carbon dioxide, then different respiratory volumes and different lung capacities. Then afterwards, the respiratory control, about neural control and chemical control, and finally about the respiratory disorders. So let us start this chapter with the definition of respiration. What is respiration? Here the other name for respiration used as breathing. Actually, the respiration is a catabolic process for releasing of the energy by the oxidation of organic molecules. So when oxidation of macronutrients like carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats happens, they are digested into the micronutrients like amino acids, then simple sugars like glucose, the fatty acids, and glycerols. Here the oxygen is very essential gas for oxidation of all these macronutrients into micronutrients. During the different physiological activities taken place inside the cell, the harmful gas, that is carbon dioxide, is also released. It is evident that the continuous supply of the oxygen is very important, and also the carbon dioxide which is produced inside the cell need to be sent out. During the oxidation of different organic molecules, the energy is released and trapped in the form of adenosine triphosphate. Triphosphate. Actually, the ADP and inorganic phosphate combine by bonding. The energy actually trapped by formation of bonding between adenosine diphosphate and inorganic phosphate. Both of them gives rise to synthesis of ATP. So when energy is required for physiological activities by the cell, this ATP again divides into adenosine diphosphate and inorganic phosphate. So this is the ever going process happens in each and every cell, right? Now come to the definition of respiration. The respiration is nothing but the process of exchange of oxygen from atmosphere with carbon dioxide produced by the cell. As earlier I told you that the continuous supplying of the oxygen is essential for the oxidation of organic molecules. So at the same time, so due to the occurring of so many metabolic processes, carbon dioxide is generated inside the cell. The oxygen should be drawn in, then produced carbon dioxide in the cell should be sent out. Here the exchange of these two gases taken place. This exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the organism and environment or atmosphere is called respiration, right? Next, the types of respiration. I give you two classifications of respiration. The first classification is so based on the site where respiration occurs. Classification number 1. Respiration is divided into two types: external respiration. Second type is internal respiration. This external respiration occurs between lungs and its accessory structures. Lungs and accessory structures. This type can be found in higher animals. Actually, two phases involves in the external respiration. There are two phases involved. The first phase is called inhalation or inspiration. The second phase is exhalation or expiration. These are the two phases of external respiration. So here we can give example as humans. In humans, we can see the external respiration. Next, come to the internal respiration. This type of respiration takes place between blood and tissue. It occurs at cellular level. So it is also called cellular respiration. What is another name for it? So internal respiration, cellular respiration, because it takes place at the cellular level. So come to the classification number 2. This is the 1, this is the 2. This classification is based on whether oxygen is required or not required for liberation of the energy from the organic molecules. Here the oxygen plays a very important role in this classification. So according to this classification, respiration is of two types. So one is aerobic respiration, second one is anaerobic respiration. Aerobic and anaerobic respiration. First we talk about aerobic, after that about the anaerobic also. I erase this much of what. So what is aerobic respiration? The oxidation of organic molecules in the presence of oxygen. Oxygen is required for the oxidation or liberation of energy from the organic molecules. But anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen. Oxygen is not at all required. In aerobic respiration, more energy is liberated or released. In anaerobic respiration, less energy is liberated. The aerobic respiration can be found in higher animals like fishes, amphibians, reptilians, apes, and mammals. But anaerobic respiration can be found in yeast, that is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. The other example is bacteria. Take lactobacillus. In yeast and lactobacillus, we can observe the anaerobic type of respiration where oxygen is absent. But aerobic respiration is more efficient than the anaerobic respiration. In case of aerobic respiration, 5 important steps are involved. There are 5 important steps in aerobic respiration. Here I just mentioned their names. In further videos we will have deep discussion about them. The first step is glycolysis. The second step is oxidative decarboxylation. The third step is Krebs cycle. The another name for it is citric acid cycle. The fourth step is electron transport chain. The last step is oxidative phosphorylation. These are 5 steps involved in the aerobic respiration. Let's come to the types of anaerobic respiration. Actually, the anaerobic respiration is also called fermentation. The another name for anaerobic respiration is fermentation. It is of 2 types. One is lactic acid fermentation. The another one is alcohol fermentation. Here I give you an example from human beings. In vigorous, the fast muscles, the lactic acid is produced during the over exercise. When we do more and more exercise suddenly to avail the required amount of the oxygen, the muscle cells they promote the anaerobic respiration. In that case, lactic acid is produced. But here, carbon dioxide is not produced. But in case of alcoholic fermentation, so along with the end product, carbon dioxide is also produced. Right. Here example is humans. Here alcohol fermentation example is you can give yeast. In case of lactic acid fermentation, pyruvic acid converts into lactic acid in the presence of enzyme lactase dehydrogenase. Here the cofactor zinc is helped out. Then in case of alcoholic fermentation, the pyruvate is converted into ethanol along with the carbon dioxide, C2H5OH. It is about the anaerobic respiration. Then look at the chemical equation of aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. First chemical equation, take one glucose molecule C6H12O6. For releasing the energy, it combines with 6 molecules of oxygen then 6 CO2, then 6 water molecules along with the energy. That energy becomes 36 ATPs. 36 ATPs are released. It is the equation for aerobic respiration. Then for anaerobic respiration, same, C6H12O6, one glucose molecule oxidized into 2 carbon dioxide molecules plus 2 molecules of ethanol, C2H5OH, then some energy is released. This energy is only 2 ATPs. Here 36 ATPs. In case of aerobic respiration, 36 ATPs are synthesized from a single glucose molecule. In case of anaerobic respiration, 2 ATPs are synthesized from a single molecule of sugar, that is glucose. So finally, we look at steps in respiration. What are simple steps involved in the respiration? The first one is breathing, that is inhalation and exhalation. So oxygen is drawn in, then carbon dioxide sent out. Next, second step, diffusion across alveolar membrane. Next, third step, transport of gases by blood or through blood. Next, fourth step, diffusion of air, that is O2 and CO2 between blood and tissue. The fifth step, utilization of oxygen and resultant release of carbon dioxide out. These are the 5 simple steps involved in the respiration. In further videos we will discuss them in detail. Thank you for watching this video.